Welcome to Productive Joy with Dr. Christie, where fun meets action.
Hi, friends. Welcome to Productive Joy. It is with honor that I have the opportunity to introduce you to my next guest and tell you just a little bit about why I think you should listen to this next podcast. So, Neil Pretty is the CEO of Aristotle Performance, and I had no idea that he existed a year and a half ago. But what happened is his partner in crime slash business partner, Jason, reached out to me on LinkedIn. It was one of those algorithm things. And when he did, we started talking about my book. And he said, we do this training for people. And he was telling me all about the training, and it's about psychological safety. And I said, how do you know it works? And he said, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, if you're teaching adult learners, how do you know that they're getting what it is that you want them to get? And he said, I don't know. I said, okay. I said, what if I took your course, audited it, and just paid attention to where there were opportunities for people to learn something? So I got to get trained in psychological safety, which was one of the most powerful experiences I think I've ever had as a professional. And in turn, what I did for them is I showed them some different places where they could add some processing or create a one pager of information so that they could make that training a little more sticky, right? My book's called Learning Can Stick. It's all about how do you get information to stay in people's heads. So fast forward a few weeks later, and we had a chance, we being Jason and Neil and myself, to have some conversation around what they were doing and how it was going and how maybe it could get better. And then fast forward a little way longer, and I had a chance to train some psychological safety training with them as well. And I've learned a lot from both of them. What I appreciate about Neil, and I think what you'll appreciate too, is his true authenticity. You know exactly what you're getting with him because he's going to tell you. And he's learned a lot about how to be a leader in a way that other people would actually want to follow, which I think is powerful. And what you're going to hear from his story is the fact that he learned from examples and non-examples, but he really does think that it can be taught to be great at leading. He fixes toxic leaders. Wouldn't that be great? The kind of guy you want to hire, right? And some of the things that I think I'm hopeful that you will take away from listening to this conversation is really about the thoughtfulness behind creating the kind of leaders people want to follow. And so he talks about the fact that leaders don't lead the work, leaders lead the people. And I think there's a lot of power in those words. As a leader, who are you leading? Are you leading the work? Are you leading the stuff? Or are you leading the people to do the work? Because if you're leading the people, then the work will still get done, but it'll get done so much better because there's ownership, because there is thoughtfulness, because you are leveraging people's talents and you're not asking them to do things that they're not equipped to do. You're equipping people to be successful. That's literally what my goal in life is to equip people to be successful in their space. Productive Joy was designed to do that, make people more productive, and to find that happy place. Now, happy and joy, I don't think are the same. I think that joy is really something you choose. Happy can be a fleeting feeling. But my goal with Productive Joy is to help people grab some nuggets of wisdom from lots of really brilliant people I have crossed paths with and take that and turn it into something that produces the thing they're trying to produce. I say thing, you could call it a lot of different words, but productive joy is meant to give you a different way of looking at things or a different approach that will change your outcomes, your opportunities, your likelihood to be successful. And I think Neil walks us through some really specific ways you can make that happen. And I think you're going to kind of love it. So the other thing that he and I talked about ahead of time is I always ask, what do you really want people to know at the end of this? And he said he struggled with that question because he thinks that the productivity is in the struggle. I couldn't agree more. right? If we're just handed things and we don't have to struggle with them, we don't have to mold them into what we need them to be, we don't have to wrestle with the information, then we're probably not doing it exactly right. And I want you to get it right. So wrestle with the information. Understand that the struggle is really part of the production and recognize that joy is a choice. That's what I want to leave you with today. So I don't know who needed to hear this, but I'm hopeful that that person just did, and that you realize that you have a whole lot more in your sphere of influence than you might have realized. So I'll leave you with this. One of the phrases that I say often, and I know that not all of you can see me, but if you want to watch this on YouTube, you can see it. If you make the tiniest little hole between your fingers and look through it, y'all, that's your sphere of control. It's itty bitty. We can't control the attitude people have, the situations that have happened to them at home, the way that they're feeling when they get to work. We have no control over that. But our sphere of influence, if you were to stretch your arms as far as you can get them to go, our sphere of influence is infinite. We absolutely can influence how people feel in our presence. We can influence how people react to us, how people know that they're okay. And that's what psychological safety really is. He's going to talk a lot about psychological safety, which is really creating an atmosphere where people know that they can ask questions, they can make mistakes, and they can try new things. You have that sphere of influence. You have the ability to create that kind of space for others. And my challenge for you today is to do exactly that. So, hopefully, you grabbed a nugget or two. Hopefully, you're also following me so that you can grab more nuggets as we continue to grow this productive joy group together. But my hope for you today and every day is that you find a way to make fun meet action.